How you doing? Rob Cushing here with video 13, day 13 of the 30-day video challenge. What I want to talk to you today is about mindset, and more specifically, how mindset cannot exist without something else, at least on a continuous basis. And that something else cannot continue without mindset. And they're kind of symbiotic, I guess, for lack of a better term. And that is taking action. And more specifically, what I want to do is talk to you about a particular book that has been a real game changer for me, which has focused on both and has really just exploded on the results I'm getting all through my life, business, spiritual, pastime, family, what have you. So two things that I had back in the past. You know, I had a great mindset, I thought. I was like, it's wonderful, but mindset doesn't really mean anything without taking action, right? It is hands down the most critical part of anything you do, okay? Having a belief in something is awesome, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't act upon it. So two things actually, that used to hold me back, okay? And it would drain the positivity of my mindset as a result. Number one, I used to think that I shouldn't take any action at all, period, unless I had all my ducks in a row, everything was awesome. What happened was, guess, I didn't take any action because I never had things 100%. That affected me from a business perspective. That affected me from, you know, my music standpoint on the side. It affected me quite a bit in all those areas. So I never took action, right? And then, you know, what I didn't realize is that even bad action or incorrect action is better than no action, because at least, if anything, it's a learning experience that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, and you can use that to kind of tweak things further, you know, to get better results. Okay, and another thing I didn't really have a handle on, which really depleted my mindset too, was how much action exactly to take. You know, like, I didn't have anything tangible to reach for, so it could be hard to gauge like what I was doing. A lot of times I didn't have a clear goal of what exactly I was looking for, and then I would end up not even getting off the ground because I didn't shoot high enough. And other times I would hit a goal, and then I realized I shot too low. I should have shot higher, and I never really could figure out how to pinpoint that. And, you know, my mindset started down a little bit, right? So I was introduced to this great book by a friend of mine. The book's name is called The 10X Rule, The Difference Between Success and Failure by Grant Cardone. Now, Grant actually talks about, it was when I first picked up the book. You know, well, first let me get into this. The 10X Rule is this. It's basically a philosophy that you apply towards anything in your life to achieve your goals, okay? So anything, all right? One of the things that Grant really mentions that brought things home for me. It was a bit of an eye-opener, kick in the ass. First thing was that not only is success nice to have, it's a duty, it's your duty and it's your obligation to do it. Success is not only something you should have, it is a must. And he goes on to say this, and I'm going to repeat this twice because this is actually something really neat. He says, success is mandatory because the alternative of mediocrity carries far too many consequences with it. Once again, success is mandatory because the alternative of mediocrity carries far too many consequences for it. And when I heard that, I was like, wow. So it was an eye-opener. And second, he explained, you know, in much better detail about setting very big goals. Very big goals. His biggest mistake and regret in life, and it has been mine earlier, was not setting goals high enough. You know, you got to have a big vision if you want success, right? To maintain that mindset, and you got to take the proper amount of action. So what happens is, as the saying goes, you know, when you're green, you're growing, you're ripe, you're rotten. So you got to continually be pushing yourself, okay? And this is where the 10X rule comes in. So whatever goal you have for yourself, business, personal, family, spiritual, multiply it by a factor of 10. So you aim for 10 times higher than you would normally to achieve. So give me a perfect example. Say in a business, someone's goal is to, you know, reach out to 5 to 10 people a day. All right. And they're like, okay, well, next week, I'll double that. So I'll do 10 to 20 people a day. Here's the problem. Okay, that person reaches out to 10. It was really kind of within the parameters of what he was doing originally. And the problem is, even though he thinks he was taking lots of action, he really wasn't. And then what would happen is that his mindset would be like, okay, well, I'm doing what I need to be doing. I'm taking lots more action, and I'm just kind of where I'm at anyway, so this isn't really working, blah, blah, blah. So the idea with the 10X rule is that you shoot for 10 times that. So instead of 5 to 10 people a day, shoot for 50 to 100. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Rob, how am I really going to be able to do something like that? Okay, so here's the thing. Don't limit yourself. You have no idea what you're capable of achieving. And that's something I had to learn for myself too. You may not get to the 50 to 100 people a day. You might. But here's the thing. You would get a lot farther towards that goal and thereby that much closer to success than you would if you just did like the 1.5 to 2 times or what have you, okay? Point is to put 10 times more effort in what you were doing, into what you're doing than what you had been previously. You may not get to exactly where you want to be, but it's going to really boost things for you and get you results so much faster and quicker and with more positivity that your mindset's going to be like, oh my God, I got to keep doing this. So, basically the 10X book, when I read it, kind of took that uncertainty of mine. It grabbed it by the neck and then it tore that uncertainty to shreds. So I'm going to leave you with this because this video is, again, a little longer. I love to talk, as you could tell. So some calls to action for you. Number one, as always, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. And number two, if you have not picked up a copy of the book, The 10X Rule, The Difference Between Success and Failure by Grant Cardone, highly recommend you do so. If you don't have a copy, put it on your top 10 or even top 5 reading list. Go to the local library, pick it up. I have both the audiobook and the printed. I enjoy them both greatly, and I still refer back to them quite a bit. So recommend you do that as well. But go out there, get yourself a copy of the book, at least read 10 pages a day, get through it something. I hope you're going to find as much value to your, whatever it is you're doing, as it has for me. Okay, so with that, my name is Rob Cushing. Thanks for watching, and I'll be talking to you again soon.